So before we start the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, as it helps the channel grow. So, let's get into it. Alright, so week 8 of the NFL season is coming to a close. And for the Chicago Bears, they get dominated on Sunday Night Football by the Los Angeles Chargers. In this video, as always, I'm going to give my recap on what I saw during the game, get my grades for offense, defense, special teams, and coaching. And without further ado, let's get into it. What's up, guys? KT here, back at it with another video. Today, we're doing the Bears. The Bears get blown out 30-13 on Sunday Night Football by the Los Angeles Chargers in a game the Chargers dominated from the first to the fourth quarter, and in a game that's going to create a lot of storylines and not in a good way. So I'm not going to hold y'all for too much longer. Let's get straight into the video. Let's start with the new guy in town and the man of the hour. How did Tyson Bagent play on Sunday? Not very good, in my opinion. He was 25 of 37 for 232 yards. He only averaged 9 yards per throw, threw 2 interceptions, took 1 sack, and had a 62 quarterback rating. I'll say this about Tyson Bagent. He had a few plays that were pretty good. The first play to Darnell Mooney, a deep shot, perfect. It was on target. They also got a defensive pass interference. He had to throw to Cole Kmet, which moved the sticks. And I thought on his touchdown drive, he made a lot of good reads. He was able to move the ball. But make no mistake, Tyson Bagent is still a backup, in my opinion. Other than that, he had 2 bad interceptions. One of those you can say weren't really his fault, but the first one definitely was. I kind of feel bad for Tyson Bagent because all week we heard how Tyson Bagent was going to be the second coming of Joe Montana and Kurt Warner and Brock Purdy. And I think that was a lot of expectations to put on a Division II quarterback who just started his first NFL game last week against a Raiders team that wasn't very good, and in a game where he wasn't asked to do too much. This week, the Bears asked him to do a lot. I don't know what they asked him to do because it seemed like the Bears' offense was stagnant, but they asked him to do a lot more, and it just seemed like the Bears stalled out on too many drives. He missed a couple reads. The turnovers hurt them. So make no mistake, Justin Fields is still the starter when he is healthy. I think Tyson Bagent will be a good backup for this team. I think they should keep him and try to develop him as much as possible. But make no mistake, regardless of all the agendas and storylines that have come out in the last week, he's still the backup of this team. But overall, I don't think he played all that well. He just had a few good moments. Rushing the ball, it was the same in that category too. I think the rushing, I think the Chargers played pretty well, played the run pretty well. They didn't let the run get off. Deontay Foreman didn't nearly have the game that he had last week. He only had 9 attempts for 34 yards and averaged 3 yards per carry. Roschon Johnson got back from his concussion protocol. He only had 6 attempts for 21 yards and averaged 3 yards per carry. Darrington Evans scored a touchdown late in the game in garbage time, and Tyson Bagent also scored a touchdown late in garbage time. But make no mistake, the Chargers played for the run perfectly, and I think that was one of their things coming into this game. Let's stop the run and stop the short passing, and let's see if we can make Tyson Bagent win the game with his arm by throwing over the middle, throwing deep, throwing guys open. And I think the Chargers executed to perfection. I don't think the run game was very creative at all. They didn't really commit to it at all, and it showed with the stats, and it showed in the game as well. But not a very good game for the rushing. Hopefully they can get back to it next week. But yeah, I'm disappointed with the rushing stats right now. Cole Kmet, he led the team for the receiving with 79 yards. He had 10 targets. This is the most I've ever seen Cole Kmet targeted this year, but it was all short passes. I don't think Kmet got past the sticks other than once. DJ Moore, he only was targeted 6 times for 4 receptions for 55 yards. I don't know why they have DJ Moore on the team if they're not going to use him. They traded the number 1 overall pick for him, and they just don't use him. This guy is a monster. He's a yards after the catch monster. He can run downfield. He's a great route runner, but they don't use him. When he's on the field, they tell their quarterbacks to throw to Kari Blasingame more than they throw to DJ Moore. I think that's coaching negligence, as you have a guy that can go off for 230 with 8 catches and you don't even use him. Nah. Darnell Mooney, 4 targets on only 1 reception. He has been very disappointing to me. Still having the same problems as last year, unable to get contested catches, not running the right routes. I'd be surprised if the Bears aren't marking him as a trade target or if they sign him to an extension after this year. But he has to be better. At this point, he just has to be better. He has to be able to get open. He has to be able to take pressure off of DJ Moore, and he hasn't been able to do that. Well, I do think most of that is on the offensive play calling. I do think Darnell needs to take a little bit of responsibility, as we still see some of the same issues that he had last year. But overall, the offense played very bad. They only put up 13 points. Tyson Bagent had a rough game. He struggled. They didn't commit to the run game. They didn't help him out at all. So the offense is going to get an F for me. 7 points for basically 4 quarters is not enough in an NFL football game. And it showed this week that you were playing a much better team. So the offense, they're definitely going to get an F for me. Defense, this is what I really wanted to talk about. Other than TJ Edwards and Tyreek Stevenson, who both, led the team in tackles on Sunday, nobody played well. They didn't take the ball away. They didn't get any sacks, which I said they needed. And I thought, we kind of overhyped the defense for playing against Brian Hoyer last week, a guy that missed a lot of throws, but he had all day to throw. And Justin Herbert is not Brian Hoyer. He's going to make the accurate throws if you let him sit back there. The Bears got no pressure, no sacks. They didn't make life difficult for him at all, and it showed. They put up 30 points. And this coaching tenure has been, Maul has been a focal point of giving up 25 plus points a game, and no QB can win when your defense is giving up 25 plus points a game, whether that's Tyson Bagent, Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, Drake May. It doesn't matter. If your defense is giving up 30 points a game, you're not going to win anything. No pressure, no tackling, no discipline, a lot of penalties. We're still missing both our safeties, so I'm going to keep this quick. I think the defense is just going to get a straight up F, as they didn't do any of the things that I thought they should do coming into this game. They let Justin Herbert do whatever he wanted to do back there, and it showed with the 30-point margin up there. Special teams, they were a non-factor, so they're going to get a non-applicable. This coaching staff, I think it's been time for a while. Luke Getsy still doesn't know how to call a complete NFL game. I don't know why Velus Jones is being targeted more than DJ Moore when he keeps dropping passes. Matt Eberflus keeps rushing 4 when you definitely need to rush 7 because your pass rush can't get home. You're still calling this soft cover 2 zone that people can pick apart. When you're playing man, you can't get no pressure on the quarterback, so your cornerbacks and your DBs have to cover for 7 seconds or more. The team is still undisciplined. They're missing blocks. They're missing assignments. They're missing tackles. All this reflects on the coaching staff and on the GM and front office as well. So this coaching staff is definitely getting an F, as they look completely unprepared. Brandon Staley had his team ready to play. All those coordinators over there for the Chargers, they had their team ready to play, and it showed on the field. More of the same for the Bears. So yeah, the coaching staff is definitely going to get an F for me. But overall, the Bears look embarrassing once again in prime time. They got the New Orleans Saints next week. Hopefully Justin Fields is able to go, but it will not be an easy matchup, as New Orleans has one of the best pass defenses in the league and one of the best, and they're starting to get their offensive footing together, so it's going to be a tough game next week. But hopefully Justin Fields can come back and lead us to a win. If not, we'll probably see Tyson Bagent again. So we'll see what happens next week. But that's all I got for you guys in this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the videos. It helps the channel grow. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I drop one of these Bears videos. Follow me on social media, as there's bound to be a lot of news and storylines coming out about this game. Thank you guys for watching. As always, bear down, and I'm out. Peace.